Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world away, and to finish the week we're going back in time. If you remember last week we did pack 13 or something like that of the Darth Vader build from Fanhome. I was missing pack 8. Well, I'm pleased to say I now have pack 8, which means I can continue that, which does mean I should be able to mount the lightsaber, but we're going to find that out together. So if you're watching this in the future, I have put the playlist in order. So this pack 8 will be where it needs to be in the playlist. But just so you know that I did do this after whatever the last pack we did last week is. And there is quite a few stages here, 6 stages to go through. And it is going to encompass things like the fingers on the hand and also the helmet, which we're going to be adding some details to as well. Now, if you want to get this for yourself, I have put a link in the video description. And you've also got that QR code on the screen. But without further ado, let's get cracking. So, talking about that lightsaber, this is stage 33 here. And as you can see, we're going to be doing the belt and the part of the lightsaber that I was missing, which looks just like this. Putting this together just like this here. So at the end, that's how it's looking. And here is stage 33. So, I'm going to get everything open. Okay, so here's all the parts here. Let me just put these to one side, because the first thing I need is this shaft of the lightsaber here. And I'm going to bring over the lightsaber where, as I mentioned in the last pack that we did, I am missing this part here. Well, I've got it now. And the first thing I want to do is take this circuit board, and I'm going to be connecting the lightsaber to the end of this, which says LED. So that's this one here. Just plug this in. Now I'm going to be putting this onto this shaft here, so this is going to come all the way out the bottom. There is a hole, as you can see there, which is going to line up with that, just like that there. So, going to need an A screw, which is going to hold that blade into this hilt. And then I've got this detail here, which is going to go on the lugs, just here to hide that screw hole. Perfect. The last thing to do, you can see I've got a hole at the top, is for this button here, which is going to be, I guess, the emitter. I don't know. Push that and I'm guessing the thing comes on. Obviously this button or this switch doesn't do anything. It's actually going to be controlled through this control board. And we are putting detailing on this lightsaber now. So for these details, I'm going to be using this. I've got a small hoop going to go in the end there and push that down. It's going to hold itself in, no problems. I don't think this is going to need glue. Now all the rest of these are going to have these U-shaped ones, which are going to have to put equal pressure on each side so that they can go in evenly like that. And continue doing that for all the rest of these. So that's how one side's looking. Let's just do these two on this side. Excellent. So that is now in place. The top end of this is going to go into the top half of the lightsaber here, just to there, and then the bottom half can slot into the bottom half. I'm just going to plug this speaker cable back in again. And then I can plug the hilt into the bottom here. And then finally, this long wire here is going to go into the back. Now they're all connected up. What I want to do is feed this wire into the hilt. Because the whole idea now is that this whole bottom section can be hidden inside the lightsaber. Like this. Perfect. And there we go. That is how it's all connected up. I don't think there's a way to test this at the moment, unfortunately. I'm guessing we're going to see that at the end. But that was a mixture of this pack and the recent pack that I did last week. Perfect. So let's put that to one side. Okay, I now need this belt, which came in issue 31. I'm going to be putting some stuff into here. And if you remember, we created these two boxes last time. It's this box I believe I need now. So the way I want to do this is basically I want this strap to look like that. It's this end that I'm interested in, with this facing in that direction. I want to take the cable here, which has got this box with the single cable coming out, so this can come out of here like this. Perfect. Once I've got it like that, I'm closing it off by putting this back section in, just like this here, so that I'm not pinching that cable, but the cable is coming out the back, as you can see there. Now I'm holding all of this in with F screws, and I need 4 of these. So that should look like that. We've got the cable coming out the back here. Now we're going to be putting the next one in. It's going to be the same sort of way here. So I'm going to be having this going in here. So I know that's going to fit perfectly in there. Now you will notice on my one that I've had the actual pressure switch come off, which is actually a bit of a godsend for me really, because when I put this on, which I'm putting on here now, I fed this wire through. I just want to see which direction it's going to be going off in. So it's actually going to be going off in this direction over here. So if I reattach this way into here, perfect. So it comes out the side. That is excellent. So hopefully you can see how this looks, because we're about to put the back on this one now as well, which is here, but I don't want to pinch any of these wires. We just want to make sure these wires are coming out the side here, just like that. Perfect. Once again, these F screws to hold this in. And now that's how it's looking from that side. And if you look how the wires are going, that's how it's looking out the other. So that means I can actually just take the last box here. So the way this last one's going to go, looking like this here, what we're going to do, make sure that's all flat, is lay this down this way here. So all the wires are coming out the back just like this. It's going to sort of sit in position like this. There's nothing to attach this to at the moment here. We're actually attaching it to this back plate, but I do need to connect some of these wires up. Now here's a pain. I've got these 2 wires coming out here, but I need the box wire that's coming from this right hand side. I haven't got a clue which one that is. Let me try and pull it and see if I can see that way. Okay, that's going to be this wire here, right. Okay, so this is the cable for the right box wire. That's going to go into the plug right on the very edge over this side here. The one that's labelled Con41. The wire that's coming from the middle, which is the buckle, is going to go into the next one along, which is labelled TP. And there you go, that one's in as well. Which means we're left with 3 cables here. So on the back of this here, let me get this right. Before I put this on here, we're going to be putting the 2 white cables through the larger hole at the bottom, and then the switch is actually going to be embedded into the top here. So probably best now to put this into place, so that when I put this together, which I'm going to do now without trapping any of these leads hopefully, as you can see, it's going to be clean on this back side here. So I'm holding this in with the F screws. Last screw going in here, and there we go. So that is the belt complete, looking like that, and that is what it's looking like from the other side. And that's the end of that stage. That last stage took me far too long. That last stage took me an hour, because I made mistakes of trying to figure out what way is the right way round to go. Okay, so we've got some more helmet details here, and I've got some chest panels as well, some chest details here. So I'm going to add these in here, and then I'm going to be opening up the helmet. We haven't seen inside here for a long time, to put these parts in here. So that's how it's looking. So let's get stage 34 out and open every individual part here. Okay, first thing I need is this chest plate here, which we made, oh, I can't remember when this was, but we're going to be adding some details to this. So the first ones I've got are these black details here, which are going to match the indents that we've got on the side here. These are just pushing, and I do want to make sure that the indent is at the top. So one has got 2 lugs at the back, which is going to go on this side here, and one of them has got 1 lug at the back, which is going to go on this side over here. So that's how that's looking. In a similar way, down the bottom here, I've got these ones to go in. So they're just following again the indents that we've got actually in the plate. So that one's going to go that way. Probably best on the top camera. This one's going to go in here like that. Excellent. Okay, I can put that to one side. And I'm bringing over these panels now, which have got some double-sided tape on. Now, what I want is this one first. Take some tape off. I know the difference between them because this black section here is facing towards the left. The other one's facing towards the right. And it's going to be going into the recess on this side over here, over a couple of the lugs that we've actually got in place now. It looks like that when it's in place. We're going to do exactly the same on the other side. Push that into place there. So that's how that's looking. And then I've got these pipes to put in that are going to go into the one end of what I've just put in. And the other end is going to go into the hole at the bottom there. So it looks like that. Do the same on the other side. And they're both in like that. The last couple of details we've got here, which again I've got some adhesive tape on the back, are just going to be going onto the indents on the inside here. So one here. This is very detailed. Just like that. And the other one's going on the other side. And when they're all in, I believe that is now all the detail in that helmet done. And that is pretty crazy, isn't it? And that's what it looks like from that side. Let's put it back together. This is held in with magnets just on the top there. And then I can put the actual mask dome on. That's how that looks. That's all there is to do in that stage. Okay, stage 35. Here's the instructions. And, oh no, look, we've got some more pieces here that looks like for the helmet. Decorative tubes. I thought we were finished with the helmet. Okay, we're going to be putting all of these parts in as well. So that's looking like that. You know, I should really look ahead to see what I'm doing. I'll just put that back together. Okay, let's get all of these out. So look at this. This is a whole lot of fiddly things we're putting in here. Right, the first thing I need is this silver lead here, looking like this. So this has got some tabs just at the bottom here. And those tabs are going to go either side of this silver thing just here. Now, I'm going to be gluing these in. I'll tell you that now. I'm holding the wire in position, or the pipe in position, so that when I put this in, it's going to shape to the correct shape it needs to be. So hopefully you can see that's how that's going in. Okay. The next one looks just like that, and that's going to go into those. So again, there is a set way that these are going to go in. So I have put some glue on these. Let's get these in. Okay, that's looking good. Okay, the next one is this silver one here, which is going to go into these silver ones just at the side here. So one in here, it's probably best if I get it in. Probably going to need my tweezers to help me here. And the other one over this side here. Okay, I'm going to be piecing all 3 of these together now with this tiny clip here, which clips at the top. So I'll get this clip in, and it's going to hold all of this into place. just like that. That looks really good. Take your time on it. Right, we've got two of these gold ones now. This one here is going to go into this side, so it's probably going to be a, I'm just checking sizes actually. There is a slight difference in size, but there we go. One's in like that there, which means this one can only go in one way. It goes into the outside hole, I believe. Like that. So that's those two in there. Got two more pipes left. But we don't actually use these in this issue, so we're going to need to keep them safe. But that is an amazing amount of detail. Check that out. Now, I haven't put my helmet away. You never know if I'm still working on that. I know in one of these stages we're going to start working on the fingers and the hand. But look, we're still working on the helmet here. Oh my god. So, looks like we are putting in these parts here. This is stage 36. I don't know when we're actually going to be using those pieces that we saved. But we're adding this. Oh look, we are creating the first finger there. I tell you now, I've very much underestimated this pack. I mean, the recording time so far for this is 1.5 hours. So, wow. I'm going to keep the finger parts separate for a second, just so I can now work on some more parts that we're going to be doing for the helmet. And basically, bringing it back over again, I've got these gold sections here, and they are labelled left and right. So I'm going to put the left one onto the edge in here. I don't know if I need glue. I don't think I do. That actually goes in quite tight. And the right one, they are labelled. This one's got an R on it. Is going to go on this side. Try and do that without nudging any of the pipes that I put in. Okay, that's good. Now, these are very similar. One's got more of a bend down the bottom here, which I'm guessing is the one that I need now, because I'm going to be putting this into place. And what makes it worse is that it means they're going in these black sections here, which means these ones that I put in here shouldn't be in here. I'm going to see if I can get them out. This should be into this silver one over here. So that was my mistake. Once again, add that to the list of things that I've done wrong so far on this build. So I need to show you a mistake that I've made, is that basically these rings here should be coming out of both of these silver things here, not those black ones there. I'm going to need this lead, which has got the bend at the top, and then basically one end is going at the bottom here, and the other end is going to go into that gold black section at the top, just there. Now it's sort of going to be pinned in around the side, so hopefully you can see that on the camera. It should go in like that. I'm using a little bit of tape just here to help me hold that in while I get the second one in. I am going to glue these because I don't want them going anywhere. This one's going in this side. And while I'm training this, I put that in there as well. So now that is how those two are looking. Now I've also passed these gold cables behind this section. I think in the instructions they got me in front. I prefer them behind, looking like that. All that leaves then is the two leads that we had from the last stage. I need the red one first. One side is going to go into this gold section that we put on right at the start of this stage. So this red one at the top here is actually connected next to the gold lead that we put in at the top. So I'm just going to rotate that around. I've put one side in and it's going to go into the hole here. Bit fiddly to get this in, but in I will get it. Perfect. So as you can see, it's in at the top. Let me get this right. just there. And obviously down the bottom it's going in to there. So the last lead that we've got is actually going to go into the center hole of this silver part here. So I am going to just put some glue in here on the ends so I can ensure I get this in properly. It's going to go into the other hole on that left hand side and into the center hole of this silver part just here. It's going to push that in. And there we go. That looks pretty amazing, but it's also very scary. I think that's everything in that helmet complete now. So I'll put that helmet to one side now. I'm going to open all the parts for the fingers now. And we've done this before, so we shouldn't have too much of a problem compared to how busy and difficult that last few stages were. Wow. Okay. Okay, so first thing I'll do is I'm going to take this part here. And once again, I've got a bush somewhere. There it is. That needs to go over the top of this. I'm affectionately calling these things friction bushes now. Just like that. Then I'm going to be putting this section here into the center there. Perfect. Putting on the other side. Just like that. And I'm holding that together with one of these screws, which are T-screws. All we have to do then is take one of these parts here. We're going to be putting another bush just over the spindle here. Just like that. Then put this onto the end of the finger. Put the other side in, and then I'm securing that with two of these screws here. Perfect. And with that in place, that was an amazing stage. That's all there is to do in that stage. So I'm guessing more of the same with the fingers now. So stage 37. Here are the instructions. Lots of fingers to make, as you can see here. Looking good. Now, we have done this loads and loads and loads of times. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do all the fingers in one go now. Have them all done, so when you come back, they will be done. And then I'll show you what we're going to do with them afterwards. So at the end of that stage, you should have 2 fingers. Hey. So in the last stage of this pack, looking just like this, we're going to be doing the rest of the fingers here, and then we're going to be attaching them, I'm guessing, to the hand, which I have already done. So I'm going to be putting these into position. I'll show you how I do that in a second. And that's mainly because, obviously, we do that in pack 9, and we actually just went through it without fingers because we hadn't made them yet. But once again, I'll just make these up, and then I'll bring over that hand. So this is the last screw just going in here. As you can see, all the fingers are now in place on here. Looking good. We can put the thumb back in now. Which needs to be screwed in from the other side. So let me just take that off. And there you go. That's all in place, all finished. I can now just put this back in here like that. And that is all there is to do in pack 8. That was an insanely difficult pack to do, I have to say. So let me just show you where we're up to with this. This is what the helmet is actually. That was an insanely difficult pack to do. But as you can see, that is the helmet with everything in there. Looking good. This is what it looks like from this side. But I believe that now means that the helmet is complete. So I'm happy with that. I really hope you liked that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.